Good morning. Happy birthday. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life, because every day is your birthday if you choose to celebrate life. I've been having a huge amount of fun today. It's really windy around the other side of this big rock. And I was really struggling to find a place to stop. And I finally found a place, but it was up against the rock. And then I couldn't get a signal at all. It's been an absolute nightmare. We are going to talk about excuses, reasons and lies in a minute. And obviously this is very relevant because... gosh, anyway, so I've come all the way around the other side of the rock, which is where I normally run from. I normally run up and down there and then round this rock and then over to the harbour, which is way over there. But I found that if I come to this side of the rock, morning, couldn't get a signal, and too much wind around the other side. Anyway, good morning. Hello, how are you? Here, I've finally found a place where I can put my phone with a nice little view in the background. There should be no wind noise. I saw some thumbs up there, so thank you. If you can just confirm that there's no wind noise, that would be fantastic. So yeah, is that a reason? Is that an excuse? Who knows? Good question. Oh, it's Roz. Hello, Roz. How you doing? Right, so I would say that's probably a bit of both, really. And the reason I say that is because the whole topic of this conversation is about taking responsibility. We've talked before about the above the line thinking, below the line thinking. Above the line thinking being ownership, accountability and responsibility. Thank you. Yes, it is, isn't it? Oh, is it just me, the view? I'm just joking, of course. Yeah, so ownership, accountability and responsibility, that's OR. So it's like you're rowing for your life, you're getting things going. So you're above the line thinking, ownership, accountability and responsibility. Below the line thinking, blame, excuses and denial, BED. Blame, excuses and denial. So you're staying in bed, effectively. You're not moving your life forward, you're stuck in bed. Below the line thinking, you're stuck in bed. Above the line thinking, you're rowing your way forward. The Paralympics are just starting up. I'm sure there are probably rowers in the Paralympics, I'm not sure. But I'm sure they'll go forward. I've just seen Dame Sarah Storr, this one I didn't see. I've heard it on the radio that she'd won the gold medal. So well done to you. Okay, so anyway, the point being is that when we look at we start using these excuses, reasons for things happening. Reasons are really lies. Excuses. What I've talked about in the past is that reasons are why things happen in the past. So you've already got to the point where you've got to, and somebody's asking you, well, why are you late, or why did that happen, or why didn't you do the thing? You go, oh, well, the reason was blah 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 blah. This happened. And people say, oh, you're just using excuses. Well, I would suppose that they're not actually using excuses. They are using reasons. They are talking about the reasons why the thing didn't happen. Excuses I always talk about are the reasons why you're not doing things in the future. So you're saying, I'm using this as an excuse. So when people say, oh, you're just using that as an excuse, yeah, that's using that as an excuse to not do something in the future. If you're using it as an excuse for something that happened in the past, it doesn't really matter, because the reasons are the reasons as to why it happened. However, and this is an interesting little adjustment to the thinking, which is why I'm doing a new one here, is whether or not you're actually lying to either the other person or to yourself as to why you haven't done the thing or why the thing happened. So if you were late, for example, to arriving, so let's use a school example, classic school example. Why is your homework late? The dog ate it. Sounds like a lie to me. You just didn't do your homework, didn't you? But you weren't willing to admit to the teacher that you didn't do the homework, or you're not willing to admit to yourself that you just didn't find the time, or you were too busy playing computer games, or whatever the reason, whatever the actual reason is, or you just didn't want to do it, or you didn't understand the homework perhaps, and maybe your parents were fighting so you couldn't ask them, and who knows what the point is that if you're making up a story to cover for the fact that you didn't do something, that is an excuse, and that is a lie, which is why I've got in the comments here that excuses are lies, really, because you're really lying to yourself. And also, if you're using it going forward as well as to why you're not going to do something, you're really lying to yourself, because it obviously depends on the scenario and depends on the situation. But could you really do the thing? Could you? Maybe you could. And then, do the thing. But if you're not, then do you really want to do the thing? Do you really want to do this thing? And if not, don't do it, or find another thing to do. I'm not sure. Well, the key thing, of course, then looking back and go, if I didn't want to do it and I found an excuse as to why I didn't do it, and then I didn't do it, and then you beat yourself up afterwards for having not done it, or you lie to somebody else as to why you haven't done the thing. Worse, of course, is to lie to yourself, of course, which I just discovered this morning. I do to myself a lot. I lie to myself on a regular basis, and I feel like I'm an honest person, so there's a disconnect there. I feel like I'm always honest to other people, not always honest to myself. So that's something I need to work on. I literally just discovered that this morning, that I will make up excuses, lies, as to why I didn't do something, and then not do it, and then to justify why I didn't do something, and then use that excuse going forward. Oh, well, this is the reason I didn't do it in the future as well. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But the question you need to be asking yourself is, how can I avoid this next time? So, for example, morning Daniel, morning MK, by the way, as well. So good to have you people looking and viewing. It seems to be, it's an interesting thing I've noticed. When I've got a better signal, I seem to get more people watching. So maybe there's an algorithmal thing going on in Facebook that recognises that I've got a really poor signal. It's going to be a bad signal, so I won't bother telling anybody about it. I don't know. Anyway, yes, do I really want to do this thing? And how could I avoid this problem in the future? So if you were late arriving to work, for example, and your excuse was that the traffic was really busy and that delayed you getting to work. Well, okay, so the traffic was busy. Presume the traffic was busy. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe you did properly lie that there wasn't actually any traffic. You just left late. But let's just assume that there was a lot of traffic all of a sudden. But either way, you didn't leave early enough to be able to take into account the fact that there might be a lot of traffic, or you left so late that you had to use the excuse of traffic to avoid the fact of omitting the fact that you'd left late. But the question then you're asking yourself, of course, is how can I avoid this next time? So next time you can leave earlier to make sure that you get there on time, even if the traffic is bad. Whether the traffic was bad or not doesn't make any difference. Now, the point is, how can I avoid this next time? So if you then left early and then you hit traffic, you go, okay, so now I need to either leave earlier or I need to take a different route to avoid the traffic in future. Or I need to look at my GPS system, because these days GPS systems tell you whether there's bad traffic or not. I was in Barnstable yesterday, and I put the GPS signal on to take me from one place to another, and the most direct route was like 15 minutes or something. I don't know, it wasn't quite that long. But then there was a really sort of circulatory route which took me 9 minutes. And of course I looked into it, and it was like there was some really, really bad traffic on the most direct route. So it took me on the circular route to get around it. So that was cool, wasn't it? God, I don't know how long we're talking for now. Anyway, so this then comes on to, for example, people saying things like, I have bad luck, so I won't buy a raffle ticket, which then means, of course, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You will definitely not win a raffle if you don't buy the ticket. There's this classic statistic in Scotland. By the way, I'm going to Scotland in a couple of weeks' time. I'm house sitting on the Isle of Skye from the 13th of September to the 6th of October. Fun, huh? Very isolated I'll be. Yes, a statistic in Scotland that something like 60% of Scots rely on... oh, thank you very much, Roz. That's very helpful. Brilliant, thank you. Because I looked at the time... Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then I didn't start. So, because I didn't have a signal, didn't have the wind. I was using all the excuses as to why I couldn't start. But what really happens is I haven't found a spot which is good and reliable with a good signal and out of the wind on a regular basis. And this is quite a nice spot. I like this one. The trouble is, it's not really where I would normally run, so maybe I need to do a different route. So this is on my way home. Anyway, and thanks for watching, by the way, as well, Roz. That's fantastic. What was I talking about? Scots. About 60% of them rely on winning the lottery for their future wealth. But only 40% of Scots actually buy lottery tickets. So that means there's 20% of Scots who rely on the lottery for winning for their future wealth, but don't actually buy a ticket. Crazy logic, huh? Obviously, it's just statistics, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. But same thing applies. If you think you're unlucky, so therefore you don't buy a raffle ticket, well, you're definitely not going to win. So therefore you're not giving yourself a chance to win. Similarly, in business, nobody buys my product, so I won't bother offering anything out, which then means that the next person definitely can't buy your product because they won't be able to because there is no offer. You're not making them an offer, so they can't. They might really want to buy something from you. They may really love your thing. The first person didn't, or the first 10 people didn't want to buy your thing, but the next 10 do. But because you're not offering it to them, they can't possibly buy it. And so you have to recognize it. Is this thing I really want to do? And how can I not make excuses to myself and lie to myself about going forward, and therefore avoid not having the things I want in life? I don't know. I think I went a bit rambly there. Not sure I stuck to my point as much as I would have liked to have done. But anyway, that's all for today. That is my topic of the day. By the way, interestingly, Blinkist have changed the way they do their books. There's no longer a book of the day. It's now a choices for you section on Blinkist, which is really annoying because it's obviously recognising the books I've watched and I read in the past. So it isn't like a universal book of the day, which is a little bit frustrating. But the one I've been listening to today is all about brain plasticity and neuroplasticity. Absolutely fantastic, fascinating stuff, and actually examples as to how people have overcome, have rewired their brains. So I will put that link in the comments. Actually, I think I can probably just do that straight away now. Of course, if you're on YouTube, by the way, if you're on YouTube, I know that doesn't work. It didn't work at all. If you're on YouTube, by the way, click the like button. That'd be fantastic. Go subscribe. That'd be fantastic too. There you go. And if you're on Instagram, hello. Okay, cool. Right, that's all from me for today. Sending you all the love in the world. Go out for on Wednesday. I've got to get back home. I really thought today was going to be a good one. I'm going to get home, showered and dressed before 9 o'clock because I've got a call at 9 o'clock, which I often have to do in my running gear because I don't get home in time. So hopefully this time I'm actually going to do it. Yay, fantastic. Thanks for watching, everyone, particularly Roz. I think you watched the whole thing this time. But it was a good one. Bye. Oh, I didn't do happy birthdays. Oh, my lord, my lord, my lord. Didn't do happy birthdays. Happy birthday to Wayne, Laura, Aaron, Maleka, Michelle, Kate and Markus from today. And from yesterday, Millie, Jill, Jane and Mark. So happy birthday to you guys. Really sorry I forgot that at the beginning. Oh, dear me. Could do the breathing exercise briefly. Blow out the one candle. Breathe in 5 through your nose. Hold that on your heart. Light the candles on the left while you're holding your breath. And then blow out the candles and wish them a happy birthday. Happy birthday! And then think about what's the one thing you're going to get done today, what's the one thing that's made you smile, what's the one thing that's made you grateful, and what's the one thing you're going to get done. There you go, that's the things. And then happy birthday to yourself too. Great, that is definitely me done. All the love, sending it out to the world. Bye for now. Love you, bye.